everybody.
Evening. Joe, real quick, what hotel are we supposed to stay at in Salt Lake City?
The Hilton.
The Hilton. Okay.
Yes. It's nice to see you, Lathrop and Kathy. Hi. Hi, Dominic.
Hello.
Bob, Curtis, happy birthday again.
Thanks. Good to see you last week.
Yeah, likewise.
Happy birthday again. What is it? The 70th time somebody said happy birthday?
Oh, at least for my 70 years. Derek must be in Australia. Oh, gosh.
He's
Well,
upside
Australia,
down.
Western Nebraska, it's about the same thing.
Oh my gosh.
Times are tough.
Yeah.
Derek, you're upside down for me. Are you upside down to
That's
everybody
because
else?
the world's
He is
upside
upside
down,
down.
Joe.
Oh, I get it now. I get it.
He'll stand on his head for us.
That's right. I will do anything to get a laugh out of people.
Well, you're doing it.
The problem is you're all upside down too, so I don't know what you're all talking about. I look at myself and I look fine.
All righty then.
It's all a matter of perception.
Hey, am I the only one that wore a colorful Margarita Monday shirt?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're a follower, Dwayne.
This is my cocktail shirt.
Nice. You're looking sharp, Dwayne.
Hey, thanks.
All right.
Join the cool background game.
Yeah,
No doubt.
Are you still Ray Reynolds or what?
yeah. I don't know why I have to rename myself every single time I sign on to Zoom.
I thought that was your also known as.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a groovy background though, Tom.
It is, isn't it? That's a groovy day.
Pretty psychedelic.
Yep.
Did you guys see the new background filters that you can add, give yourself a mustache?
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I changed my lipstick to burgundy. Give myself a little crown.
Nice.
Okay, so
Derek is
Put my
upside
glasses
down.
on to see that, Kathy. You do have
Hi,
a little
Barb. Hi,
crown.
Lee. Hi, Marion. Hi, Ken.
Hey there, Dominique.
Hey,
Hi,
Dominic.
Ken.
Hey.
Hey, Tim, did you see the new numbers today?
I didn't.
Okay. I'm not sure what you're going to mention, and I don't want to say anything twice, so I'll wait till you're done.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything about the current numbers
Okay.
because I haven't seen them.
Perfect. Mr. Fiegel,
yes.
how'd you get on? I thought I deleted you from the database.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll take it off here. I have to tell everyone go ahead.
Mike, are you all the way in Alabama?
I was,
Yes.
now I'm back home.
Okay.
Had a good time down there. We went to Gulf Shores Kiwanis Club, and it's a pretty good sized club. It has 50 members.
Mhm.
And a good time eating lunch. And they finally learned what Rocky Mountain oysters were. So it's not seafood.
Oh, gosh.
Ask Josephine about that stuff, you know. How was your event, Josephine?
it was our Discovery Day event. It went really well. We had, gosh, almost 600 people there, I think.
Oh my God, that's a good
Wow.
sign.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
But you had nice weather for it too.
Yes, and actually this weekend, tomorrow's our second year wedding anniversary. So my husband and I were in Saratoga at the hot springs.
Oh.
It was so nice.
Nice.
Do you have a bikini on then?
Yep, you want to get as much of that water as possible. 6:29, Governor O'Connor.
I'll tell you what, this is why he's the president of Windsor.
Join the meeting.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay.
It was kind of funny, but down at the Gulf Shores Kiwanis Club, the population in that area is around 22,000. And they had 50 members in their club, but I discovered most of them are older people. And I wasn't the oldest one there, so.
Mhm.
it's kind of
Careful how you say older, Mike.
Mike, I think we're going to mute you before you get in trouble.
Okay, I'll mute myself. How's that?
I think Gail Thompson's trying to dodge that bison behind her.
Hey, Deborah, how are
I'd be a
you?
little concerned if I were you.
Thanks for coming on. We'll give it a minute or two and then we'll get going.
Hello, everybody.
That's gotta be Gail.
Yep.
Frozen.
Josephine, I sent you a foundation check today that we talked about last week.
Yes, okay, thank you, Bob.
I mailed it today.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll be on the lookout for it. Let you know when I get it.
Joe, do we have a deadline for the grants? Because it says May to be determined.
The foundation board meeting, or foundation board hasn't set their next board meeting. That's why. So it's always 30 days prior. So if their meeting's gonna be June 30th, the deadline would be May 30th. They haven't picked a date yet, but I'll update it as soon as they do.
Okay, because we would like to turn something in, but we just didn't know when.
Yeah, I would just say the sooner the better, but I'll make sure you guys have plenty of notice.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Hello,
just
Brad
wanted to
Boyd.
say hi to everyone. I'm back in Colorado and it's freezing here.
Agreed.
It sure is.
Thanks for bringing the weather down.
It is. It was
Everything was
85
fine.
when I left Arizona.
Well, it was
Saying.
fine here until you came back. So I
Oh,
feel like
yeah,
you
there
brought
you go.
something with you.
The average
Oh.
last frost here
I
is
see how
May
you're
5th.
gonna be. Throw me under the bus like that. Happy birthday, Bob.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, good going. Hey, Derek, are you ready to go soon? I'm taking that as a no.
I'm interested in this picture. I like it.
I'll tell you what, because Derek's up first. Hey, Brad, how are you?
Kathy, who's that creeping in behind you there, Kathy? You know.
Mhm.
Trying to figure out how to get him in my screen.
Derek, do you want me to let you share your screen for the beginning part here?
I think we need to text them.
Okay.
Derek's busy getting a kiss.
He's
Well
pretty
done.
busy.
Either that or we could start off with the foundation, Joe, either way, but we need to text them.
Okay, I'll text him and then you want just the foundation to go ahead. I got their stuff pulled up.
Are you guys ready, Tom? And
Gail's the boss, so she's ready, I'm sure.
yeah, I know, but you're still in the murder mystery, so I'm not.
Ready.
Okay, I guess we're gonna hear first from our foundation members, and they have this really neat fundraiser coming up, and so we'll start off with them. You guys want to introduce yourselves so everybody knows you?
Well, the fundraiser is going to be like last year. We're going to do Foundation Fuels Kids. It'll be another car show type. We're adding a couple more categories this year, which should bring a whole lot of fun. It opens on May 29th, and we're going to run until July 10th. Next couple of weeks, we're going to come out with the categories, and I think you'll find some really fun options if you don't have an antique car or a rod in your garage. Tom, you want to say something?
Yeah, well, I think that one of the things we wanted to do is to open it up so that more people could participate. And that's exactly what Gail has done on this. If you look at the slide, you see a boat. Dawn, you probably recognize that picture. A horse and an airplane. So there are going to be some really neat categories that we can all have fun with.
Okay.
And by the way, I put something on Facebook. It made the announcement, and Josephine will send out an announcement soon on Constant Contact, and we'll continue to update you till the beginning of the month, or excuse me, the 29th of May, which is when we'll kick things off.
Okay.
Gonna be fun.
Oh, it will.
What's our goal to raise, Tom and Gail?
Well, how much did we raise last year, Gail?
Mm-hmm.
We brought in about 12,000, and I think we cleared over 10.
12,000.
Well, and
Yeah,
now with that
yeah.
big boat in there, we'll
So
clearly.
if we-
I'm expecting big bucks from you and the U-Pass guys. Big bucks. Kind of like Andrea did. She brought in tons of money from her club.
Mm-hmm.
So
we want to see the Quanium with the biggest RV.
It's Derek. Okay. Well, thank you for that. And when are you going to send it out for the first time?
well, it's posted on Facebook now. Josephine's going to send out a Constant Contact message soon. It's up to her schedule. She's got all the information. So.
Okay.
Okay, I'll get with you about that offline, Tom.
All right.
So it'll go live this month then, right?
Oh, it has to, because it starts on May 29th.
Okay.
Within the next week and a half.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. So who on this call knows what August 5th and 6th is? Raise your hand. Well, I can only see 5 of you, so I'm not counting. So anyway, I was asked the question last week by our Vice President of Kiwanis International, are we going to have a live decon meeting this year? And the answer is yes, we are. And so we have Derek Manley here today, who is going to talk to us about us and show us a quick video clip on the area and gearing. So Derek, you want to take it away and tell us what we got to look forward to?
Yep. Let's see if we can get my screen shared here.
Are you in a car, Derek?
I am in my car. Yes, I am.
Okay.
You should have ability now.
Okay.
No.
Just a minute. I got to get down to it. I'm doing all this on my phone.
Kathy
This
Lee,
is-
what beach are you at?
Margaritaville.
That's it. All right. Good call. Wow.
All right. Let's see if I can get this to work. Do we see the video playing?
Yep.
Very cool, Derek.
All right.
Nicely done.
You want to just
Yeah.
give us a brief update on what you got planned so far and what we got to
Well,
look forward to?
Well, I'll tell you what, Bob, the convention committee, along with the district leadership, has been very active and very enthused especially over the last 30 days, because we, again, really feel like with what's going on in the panhandle, that we're going to be hopefully wide open by the time district convention rolls around. We're in the middle of negotiations to bring in a really awesome keynote speaker that Governor-elect Robin and I are hopefully going to be able to get contracted maybe next week. And we're hoping to bring her to next month's Margarita Monday to give everybody a preview. So bring not only yourselves next month, but also hopefully bring some other Kawanians and your clubs with you, because I think it'll be a really good program to get you all excited for district convention. We are going to talk about we're going to be looking at doing the bowling tournament Friday afternoon for the foundation. We're also planning a special event Saturday night as part of the governor's banquet that Bob and I have just got to work out some details on, and we'll talk about that next month. But I think the biggest thing is that the announcement's out, like Governor Bob said, we're going to be on for district convention in Scottsbluff. So put it on your calendar now. Get your clubs excited. And if you would like me to come talk to your club to get things jazzed up, feel free to get a hold of me. I will come talk to your club via Zoom, or if I can make it to a club meeting, I'd be happy to do that. And let's put it on the calendar now. Let's get ready for it.
Absolutely. It's about time. So it's going to be great to be in person and see everybody again. We had a very good response from the survey saying who was coming. We didn't get a large amount of people responding, but overwhelmingly people said, yes, they want to come. So we will make sure that we reach out, we being the board, guys, we will reach out to each club president and speak to them about it and invite them to come and give them the details personally. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. So thank you, Derek, and thanks to the committee in gearing there, Scottsbluff, for getting this together. And I know it's going to be really, 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 really fun. Last night, Will County is wide open as well. And Saturday night, I attended a fundraiser for the Boys and Girls Club with 500 people, and it was no protocols at all. Very, very interesting. It was the first time in 2 years where everybody got together regularly, and it was great just to see everybody again and shake their hands and give them a hug, because even though I know everybody for years, I haven't seen them in almost 2 years, most of the people. So it'll be great to get back together, and we'll do it safely, and we're going to have a great time. Okay. Thank you, Derek.
Yep. Thank you.
So who knows what May is in Kiwanis world? You can just shout it out.
Membership month.
Yes. Thank you, Tim.
Sure.
So Tim is going to do something on membership tonight, which is totally suitable since he's our membership chair. But I will tell you, we received our new numbers today based on last month, and we went from -19 down to -35. So we're heading in the wrong direction. However, we knew that was coming because speaking with lieutenant governors and some of the clubs, we knew that there was members that had not been deleted. So we've been pushing really, really hard to make sure that happens, to get new members in and shore up those rosters so that we know exactly where we are. -35 is not where we want to be, but certainly it is not insurmountable. So we can still hit our goal of plus 50 to 100. We still got quite a ways to go. So Tim, you want to talk to us about membership?
I don't.
Okay, we'll put Derek back on.
No, I would love to. I'd love to talk about membership. Always happy to talk about membership. More than me talk, though, I'm hoping that this evening we all can talk some, and so that it's more of a discussion and less of a lecture. I think I've done that enough times this year and in the past years. I hope that most of you, and maybe we can use it as kind of a quiz of how well do we remember what we've talked about. It's great to have Brad on here. Brad, good to see you, my friend.
Mhm.
He has always been a very loyal and productive member of the team. So it's great to have you on. And he's got lots of great ideas when it comes to membership. So, be sure to pick his brain as well. But, I have thought back through all of the different presentations that I've done. And I hope that everybody or most of you can get, there's that one word that I always try to end up on. And because I think it's so important to what we do. And I'd like to begin with that and end with that. And so can anybody tell me what that A word is?
Ask.
Ask. Yeah, well, Dawn was being very polite, had her hand up. That was awesome, Dawn. But did you have the right word?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did. Okay, great. Okay. Yeah. It's just at the end of the day, and I'm not sure who said it, but somebody said, about, he knows how many, shots he didn't make, all the ones he didn't take. So, you've got to make that ask. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. But so I believe there are two main components to membership, and they both start with an R. Can anybody help me with what I'm thinking about there?
Retention.
Retention is definitely one of them, and recruiting, right? So, and I like to think of those as the front door and the back door of our club. And so we always want to make sure that that front door is as wide open as we can get it and as inviting as we can make it. And so what are some ways that we can make it inviting for people to come to our club?
Food.
Food is always a good one for me. Boy, if you want me to show up and have pie.
Pie.
And have fun.
Some pie. What else?
Have fun.
Have
some good
projects.
Have some good projects lined up.
What's that, Ken?
Have some good projects lined up so they know they're going to get put to work right away.
Get put to work. Okay, that's great. Put them to work. What else? How about a handshake at the door? How about a handshake and a pat on the back? And boy, it's great to have you here. And that's whether they're already a member and that goes towards retention, or if it's a new person that we're trying to introduce to the club. But we reach that hand out there and we shake their hand and we welcome them. And then we immediately go and put some hand sanitizer on because we're still dealing with a COVID environment. But so let's talk about COVID real quick. I talk a lot about fog and friction and that those are our enemy. And I see that the greatest friction that we've had in the years that I've been in Kiwanis has been this thing called COVID. And it's because it took us off our game and it caused us to close up some. And not some, in most cases, we closed up almost altogether. And, that was tough. And so that's something that we've had to rebound from. But, Ken's already on it. What's a great way to rebound from having been cooped up? It's to have some projects. And I'll tell you, I know that in the Cheyenne Club, Excuse me. I needed some water, Derek. Where were you?
Driving, Tim, driving. Sorry, buddy.
He's doing something.
I think that's
So anyway,
vodka.
yeah, you know, we did the roadside cleanup. We haven't done it yet. We did the sign up for it. And normally the first week that we do the sign up, I'll get maybe 5 or 6 people for each of the 2 days that we're going to do it. Last Thursday, I filled up both sheets, which tells me, you know, my Cheyenne Kawanians are hungry to get out there and to do some work. And as a member of the Cheyenne team, it's really important that we give them that opportunity, because that's one of the main reasons that people get in. And when we talk about our 3-legged stool, that's one of the legs of the stool, is that we're doing service. And we weren't doing service. So the stool wasn't balanced. And then the other thing that we haven't been doing that much of is fundraising. And so there again, that's another leg of the stool, and we weren't doing it that much. But so we've got to do those things, because all 3 legs, and the third leg, if everyone remembers, is membership. And now it's important that we not lose sight as we move forward. We're going to see our retention, I think, get stronger. And we're going to see it get stronger because we're going to get back out in the community. We're going to do the things that we are so famous for and that our people love so much. But also, we need to take advantage of those opportunities. So when we're doing a service project, what are some things we can do to help us not only with retention, but with recruiting? Dom, did you have something? Or
yeah, make sure you're wearing Kiwanis and stuff, because it strikes up a conversation.
Be branded and
the buttons, the shirts.
Right. What else?
You can have a brochure, Andy, a membership brochure, and that tells you everything you do. There you go. Just like one like that, you can. That's on KI, or you can put your own together. Mm-hmm.
That's right. Have your marketing materials with you. What else can you do? I'll tell you one cool, and Andrea was a part of this, for the Northeast Denver Metro. What we had in addition to our service project stuff was we had a bouquet of flowers. And we actually raffled that off. We raffled it off by people providing their business card. So you give us your business card, you have an entry into our raffle. And then we also, next to that, had a sheet where if people wanted more information, they could get it. Now, with the way things flowed, it turned out to be a great service and fundraiser, but it didn't work out as well from a membership standpoint. That's okay. That doesn't mean that the concept doesn't work. It just means it wasn't as successful as we would like in that environment. But again, it was a way to try to entice people to maybe stick around a little bit longer and talk to us about Kiwanis. Unfortunately, we didn't have the best traffic flow, so that didn't work out so well. But it still is a way to help entice people to show interest in Kiwanis. So we talked about an F word there that I think is very important, both with recruiting and retention, and Mike said it. What was that word, Mike?
Fun. It's always having fun. Sorry.
So do you have some ideas on that, Mike? What's fun all about? And think of it from a membership standpoint. Fun, recruiting and retention.
And also entertaining. Have people entertain and ask questions and having a good time doing it.
Okay.
And Bob kind of knows me a little bit. I kind of talk a lot. So, right, Bob?
No comment, Mike.
Josephine, put that man on mute. What else, Mike?
And just introducing yourself and entertaining other people that come to it, have them be involved with the events.
Okay.
Whatever it is, might be a lunch meeting, might be the actual activity that we're doing.
Okay, that's good stuff. What else?
How about fellow?
Well, you're putting pressure on me, aren't you?
You know, I
No,
think
you're all right.
I
Thank
think
you,
kind
Mike.
of along the lines of what Mike is saying. I think that is the most important thing that we can do, is to go out there, look like we're having fun, and oh, by the way, we're doing great things.
That's
And
correct.
we've got the Kiwanis logo on. We're having fun. People see it. We get to the point where they ask for applications. We don't have to push it to them. So I think the fun part, Mike, I hate to embarrass you, but I think that's the smartest thing that's been said. I think that's the key.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. Good stuff. Ken, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I always get the email address and put them on our email list.
There you go.
We
That's
got
a great idea.
We get a weekly newsletter and it's got all the projects, and try to get them signed up for project right away.
Yeah, so right. So for Ken, Ken comes to the Cheyenne Club, and he and Abe were there, and they gave a good talk about membership, and they take a little different approach, but here's the bottom line: it's working for them, so they should keep doing what they're doing. And really, what Ken just talked about is what they talked about that day, and that they base so much of it around their project, and making their projects fun, making their projects inclusive. I think that's one where we can struggle sometimes, is we can have projects, but then all of a sudden, I own the flipper, and I'm a current Kiwanian, and I'm not letting anybody else touch my flipper. Well, I'm not the best hand on deck then for the pancake breakfast, because if we can allow others to have experienced the joy of flipping on Big Red, we ought to let them do it, because it is a way to encourage them to become a member.
Hey, Tim, I think that we've just found the title of your new book. The Joy of Flipping.
The Joy of Flipping. That's it. I love it.
Right?
I love it. That's a good one. That's a good one. Hey, so
Robin, if you haven't seen him do it, you need to come watch him do it.
Hey, I'm gonna get to see you guys. So
He does a very excellent job.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. And Bob, coming from all directions.
Hey, Tim,
Okay,
I would add, when you do
Yeah.
get a new member to come to your club, you got to make them feel welcome. And
Make them feel
Make them
welcome.
feel welcome, make them feel included, ask them what interests them in the community, try to find out what kind of projects they would like to do, get them involved. Otherwise, you lose them real quick.
Yep, that's a great one, Bob. And I think that's something that sometimes we need help with at a club, because we do tend to have kind of a group think in our clubs, and it's the people we know, and that we can be a little bit exclusive. So rather than be exclusive, let's be inclusive. And again, do that thing where we reach our hand out and welcome them in, and let them sit at a table with other veterans of the club and experience what that's like. But for absolute sure, you don't want to put them off in a corner somewhere. You want to bring them right into the middle of the event. In the Cheyenne Club, I think we always get really high marks on our induction of new members. And so I thought I'd talk just a little bit about that, because we put some time and effort into inducting them, and we actually have them, along with their sponsor, come up in front of the club, and then we have a script, and we read our script, and we talk about how important it is that they're there, and that new members bring new ideas. And at the end of it, we all stand and clap them to show them how pleased we are to have them join us and to welcome them into the Great Cheyenne Kiwanis Club. And I'm only saying, and I think that most of our clubs are great, so don't take any offense to that. But that
Don't forget the gloves we give them too.
and that's right. Thank you, Bob. And we give them a pair of work gloves and we say, you know what? We want you to go to work. We want you to work hard. And that was one thing that I wanted to say on membership. You know, you can't, if membership is not hard work, then I think that we're missing it. And you probably can do even better if you would do a little hard work. And that's everything from the recruiting side of it to figuring out how are we going to try to get folks. Sorry, I keep getting caught by the chat. I'm afraid I'm going to miss something. But that we do the events. Again, whether that's a service project or it's a membership specific project where you're doing some type of a cocktail hour or whatever to bring folks in, that you do that hard work and you recognize that it's hard work and you recognize your membership. And I'm going to say a word here that I hope is inclusive of this group, membership committee, that there are a group of people in each of the clubs who are committed to growing the membership of the club. So that's happening, but at the same time that we're trying to close that back door as much as we can so that we're not losing any more of our current members than we absolutely have to. And things like death and moving away, those happen. But they're the exception, not the rule. And they're also the reason that the door can't be closed. The door is open to a certain degree. We accept that, but we limit it. Ken, you had a comment?
So one thing we do is we put about an hour orientation. We got a written manual for it because when we come into a different meeting, like your meeting, you guys, you were very hospitable, but it's a little overwhelming when you can't keep up with things. So we spend about an hour orienting people with a written manual, and they still don't understand everything, but it's just overwhelming when you walk into a different meeting, you don't know everybody and don't know the activities.
That's a great retention tool, Ken. And I will tell you, the Cheyenne Club also has an orientation. I think that it's relatively effective, but it's the same idea that, hey, it's kind of overwhelming. But here's a quick glimpse of what we do. And by the way, here are people you can ask questions of later. So I think that's important. Okay.
It's critical. It's
comments?
Excuse me, it's critical. I've been in 4 clubs.
Yeah.
California in here, and coming into a club that doesn't do an actual orientation, it took months for me to figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
What the acronyms were. You know, everybody was used to it, but it wasn't easy. So I think it's critical. We do not do it. We need to start doing it, but it's a critical retention piece.
Yeah.
Right. And so it felt somewhat exclusive for you until you learn the ropes. Yeah. And so an orientation hopefully breaks that down some.
Right.
And you don't lose people in those first few months. That's great.
Exactly.
Deborah.
Tim, I would also add that I think it's really important to make sure new members understand they're part of more than just the club that they're in. they're part of a worldwide organization that helps children all over the world. A little bit about the district, try to give them the whole picture. So they understand that they're a part of the whole globe. I mean, younger people nowadays, I'll tell you from running a nonprofit, they would just as well give to outside of their community or the country than give in the community. So we offer everything to everybody. And I think it's really important that we let everybody understand that.
I think that's just a marvelous point, Bob. And it's the one thing that I go back to when somebody talks to me about how do you sell this product, I say, I think you let the product sell itself. I mean, if you'll just explain to people what Kiwanis does and what their role can be in that, I think, I mean, I just look at that girl there and, you know, hey, you can help this girl. Kids need Kiwanis, you know, serving the world one child, one community at a time. The work we've done with maternal neonatal tetanus with Eliminate, you know, and I agree with you. And then you look at the club level. You know, having been around the district now for many years, I'm just so proud of the clubs of the Rocky Mountain District and what we do. If there's one thing that I would say, it's follow the Columbine model a little bit closer, everybody, and make sure. And if you are, hey, great job, keep it up. But make sure that you're branding. Make sure you're doing things like the follow-up emails, and that membership. The big picture to me is membership is a part of what we do. Everything that we do, membership is a part of it, and that we've got that focus. And I talked about COVID. And I talked about it as a friction, and it is a friction. It's a friction, and it really led us to a fog. I mean, at one point it was like, what are we doing? And I'll tell you, you know, in my home club, in my other clubs, it was, hey, folks, we've got to start doing something. Should we? Well, but it's COVID. Yeah, but we're still Kiwanis. We're still Kiwanis. We've got to get up and do something. And even if that something is just, let's do a Zoom meeting. And if you think back to a year ago, it was like, Zoom what? And now, I mean, we can't live without Zoom. Well, I can live without Zoom, but
We can all live without Zoom.
we can all live without Zoom, for at least for a while. Go away for a while, Zoom. But I believe Zoom is here to stay. That's kind of a bird walk, but I think we'll be able to use it to our advantage. I think we'll be able to save some money in some meetings, and I think we're getting smarter about how we use it, and that it will be a good. And this was another key word that I didn't want to forget tonight: communication. Communication. How important is it that our members know what's going on in the club? Mm-hmm. Even the ones who say they don't want to know. You just have to tell them. You have to tell them. You know, I go back to my days as a company commander, and I walked into it so naive, and I thought, you know what? I've been around all these soldiers, and I've heard them say, hey, I ain't nothing but a mushroom. And what a mushroom meant was you were just something that grew in the dark places, out away from everything, so you didn't know what was going on. And so I took over as a commander, and I thought, you know what? There aren't going to be any mushrooms, because I'm going to make sure they know. And I got up there and I talked and blah, blah, blah. And after a couple of months, I realized, you know what? Some of these people like being mushrooms. So but I still made it a point. I didn't let them get to me, and I didn't let them stop me from doing my job, which was to be a communicator. And it's the same here. We have got to communicate with our people. How many of you have a newsletter? Yeah, newsletters is a good deal. It's easier, I think, in larger clubs where we can dedicate someone to it. But even if you don't, even if you just put out an email, just a quick, couple of paragraphs. Hey, here's what happened last week or last month, and keep people informed as to what's going on. Bert West gave me a word, and I like it. It's knock. His thing is, hey, we've got to be willing to go out there and knock on doors, and to sell this great product called Kiwanis. And I'm all for that. I believe that there is a time and a place to do what I'll call the canvas, and get out there in the community and talk about who we are and what we do. Hey, Bob, it's 7:10. I don't know how long you wanted me to go.
We can go up to 7:30, but that's fine. When you're done, you're done.
Okay, I just don't want to monopolize time that's
No.
for someone else too.
No, we're good.
Okay.
This is important.
Okay, so the knock. How many of you have been involved with some type of a canvas or that B word that some people like to use? Yeah. Okay. Quite a few of you. Dom, can you talk about what you think works and what you think doesn't work when it comes to canvassing?
Well, one thing I want to touch on is when you're recruiting, don't go recruiting just for your club, because that limits your conversation to the person you're speaking to. So when I was a newer Kiwanian, I would only I was looking for Thursday morning Kiwanis members.
Sure.
I wanted them in my club. But now when you have a guest speaker or when you go door to door to a business, you kind of get to know them, and then you find out what their schedule looks like and when they're available. And then you target the invite to the club that might meet their needs. Because the clubs in the city, there's 12 clubs within 2 miles from my home. So I don't need to just go after that business owner for my club. If he says lunch is better for me or twice a month is better than me, I'm not going to send him to an overwhelming club that meets every week and has tons of things going on. I'm going to target the conversation to what they're looking for. So really, that's why I've been on Josephine so much. If we really know the clubs in our area and we have a relationship, I'm looking for members for Golden because they've been around 100 years, and I would hate to see that club go away. I would love to see people join Applewood, and that's not even in my division. If you find somebody and they tell you what they're looking for, help them find the club that fits their time frame of day.
Okay.
Sorry, that was so long, but
Tim, as expert, what happens if you're doing a canvas and you meet with somebody and they say, hey, I really want to be a Kiwanian, but I can't really get away to make a lot of these meetings. I can make some here and there, but I'll come to every service project and I'll help you with your fundraisers. Is that the kind of member we want? Just because they can't make a meeting, we send them away?
Well, I see a lot of north-south going on out there, Bob. So I think that question was answered for me, and I think answered well. I think our days of the cookie cutter Kiwanian are over. And I see it more and more when we talk about, Bob, it goes right along with cookie cutter clubs, and when we want to talk about things like, one thing that I didn't write down that I'll write down right now so I won't forget, but, when we talk about specific types of clubs, a club that this type of club only meets once a month, I don't think that's germane to who we are in our future. I think our future is this club meets as many times a month as works for the club members is really where we are and what, yeah, thank you, Don. What we're willing to do. But I wrote down a word that I hope everybody knows this word. Starts with an S, and it's all about satellite. And I think you're going to see us more and more go to that idea of, hey, there is a group of people that we think we can reach, but maybe not exactly the same as our club is presently meeting. Could we or could we not do a satellite? And the answer is yes, absolutely, you can do a satellite. Now, one thing that I would ask you to keep in mind is that it is a club satellite or a club satellite committee. It is not a satellite club. And I say that because we get confused when we start referring to it as a club, because then suddenly we're talking about, well, it must need to have its own leadership structure. So there has to be a president of the satellite, and there needs to be a secretary, and there needs to be a board of directors, and there doesn't. It's a committee is the way to look at it. And so you treat it like you would treat any other committee. And one of the things that I think is really important when we talk about a satellite is, again, this communication piece, and that there's really good two-way communication between what's going on with that group or committee and what's going on with the home club. And what I advise is that someone from the home club always attends, just like a club coach, always attends a satellite committee's meetings, and vice versa. Whoever that satellite chairman is attends the home club's meeting, so that you make sure there's a good connection between the two and that they're working together. They may be working on some different projects. They may be working on the same projects, but that there's always really good communication of what's going on. Are there any questions on,
Hey, Tim?
on satellites?
Tim, I was just going to mention real quick, this is Brad, that I recently was asked to speak to the Port Washington State Club. And I had never even thought about, we talk about having satellite groups. They're a noon club, and they actually have a morning satellite and an evening satellite,
Bravo.
Which I thought was wonderful. So we ought to be looking at that. If you're doing a noon time or whatever time of day you have, there are probably two other parts of the day where you could get folks that's the convenient time for them to gather with us.
That's a great point, Brad. Yeah, you don't have to be limited to one. Did you have something, Bob?
I just wanted to add, that it just doesn't have to be members within your own city. It could be members in your adjacent city where you may have an orphan key club and you want to get some members involved, but there's yet not 15 members. So, don't just pin yourselves into your own city and your community.
Okay, other thoughts on satellites? Just had a great couple of presentations, one with our good friends in Fort Collins with the eye openers talking about a potential satellite, and then down in Pueblo talking about satellite down there, maybe a couple of opportunities, just like you're talking about, Brad, where but down there it might be one tied to the Steel City Club and one tied to the Pueblo Club itself. But
also, you might also think about a Saturday morning group too.
Saturday morning group.
And we opened a new club in Norton, Kansas a couple of years ago. And the guy that I recruited that ended up being elected club president, he had been a Rotarian for 17 years, and he just felt guilty. He was an Edward Jones guy, and he felt guilty about spending their money and not being able to go to meetings. And when he found out he could have a Saturday morning group where he would take his wife and kids and neighbors and everything and do a little bit, you know, like 15 minutes of a meeting with coffee and donuts, and then do 45 minutes of service once a month or twice a month, that really sold him. So Saturday morning might be popular too.
Yeah, just great membership flexibility. Just keep that in mind and remember to think of it as a group or committee, always a part of the home club. Yeah, go ahead, Dawn. You are being so polite. I'm just.
Yeah, really.
Where's my Dawn?
Well, you know, it's a large group. I'm trying to behave myself.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I wanted to share with folks that the UPass Club has had a satellite, which we call Kiwanis After Dark,
Yeah.
for a while. And this is a group that has decided to go from like different venues each month. Of course, that all crashed and burned when COVID came. But what I want to tell you, what I want to share with you is two things. If you're at all interested in developing one, I would love to share stories with you on how that's happened. We've had ups and downs and lost our leader and had people step in. But what I want to tell you in the big picture is they have done so many awesome projects. This small group of people have done so much great stuff that every single Kiwanian is worth it. You all know that here. You're all in this group, but I would love to share with anyone who wants to give that as an option to let you know I'd be happy to work with you.
That's great. Thank you, Dawn. That's good stuff. How was it down at the lake?
Well, I just have to tell you that the Lake Havasu Kiwanians are also very active. There are 27 members.
Nice.
They're all realtors for some reason. They're huge, doing Toys for Tots, like from October until Christmas, and then poof, they're all gone until the next October. They don't meet at all. So that's an interesting thing. I haven't made much headway yet. They still see me as sort of a Colorado person.
Oh,
anyway, yeah.
See, and there's something, right? I mean, that, you know, that let's talk about that. I mean, that's what we just talked about. You know, Deborah, that's really the gist of where she was, is the that kind of exclusive relationship within a club, and where we want to be welcoming and really make it just so important that they become a member of the club, that on your projects, that you go out of your way to make sure that, hey, new members, you step up first. You know, how many of you have been in the club where there are assigned duties on a project and, you know, nobody else gets to do that except for me? That's not good. That's not being inclusive. That's being exclusive, and that's not what we want to do. So, you know, we need to talk to our friends down in Arizona there and look at ourselves. Are we practicing that same thing? If we are, we want to stop that. And there are things. There's always going to be things we can do better. That was one of the things I was going along with what Dawn said, where she said there were ups and there were downs. Boy, you really got to be careful on the downs, not to overreact. And I see that sometimes where it's, well, things aren't going well. Oh, that's it. We're done. Well, wait a minute. How did we get there? I mean, we stumbled. Let's get our pace back, and we'll do just fine. We're going to keep running this marathon, but we don't need to quit. And it's the downs. I mean, they test our mettle, but again, it's that we as leaders take the time to recognize what caused the down and how do we get better, and that we're always looking for that opportunity to turn that around and make ourselves a little bit better and not throw in the towel. You know, throwing in the towel in the game of Kiwanis who ends up paying that price? Communities and kids. Communities and kids. And that's what we're in. That's why, you know, for me, this is such an easy sell. And I hear people talk about, well, why do we want to grow? And why wouldn't we want to grow? I mean, you know, I'll tell you a quick war story about trying to get the Westminster Club going. And we were doing a presentation, and one of the folks who was in the presentation was the city councilman. And so I explained to him that there were clubs to the north, there were clubs to the south, there were clubs to the east and to the west. And he said, well, then why do we need a club in Westminster? And I looked at him and I said, so there are no kids who need help in Westminster? And he said, well, no, there are a lot of kids in Westminster who need help, and we need a Kiwanis Club. And until you can tell me that all those needs are met around this big world of ours, the world needs Kiwanis. And we'll continue to need Kiwanis. So, you know, I've talked quite a bit. I'm going to wrap it up here pretty quick, but so I just wanted to give everybody who wanted to speak an opportunity. Chris Furto, I see, has his hand up.
Hey, Tim, I'm just curious. Our community has all kinds of like, you know, Oktoberfest and all those kind of street gathering kind of things. Has anybody had any luck with paying the $50, getting to set up a table, hang your banner and your flyer? And has anybody had any success, and how have you done with those kind of events in terms of gaining membership?
Anybody have thoughts? I have a thought on an expo that they do in Cheyenne where we've been very successful. It's a business expo, and we pay the $50 and set up a table just like we're another business in there. And that's where we got the idea. I see you, Don. That's where we got the idea for the bouquet of flowers with a business card going in the bucket. I think the last one we did, we picked up 6 new members. So great idea, Chris. I would highly encourage any opportunity to be around our business community or our community leaders, grab it.
Tim, since you're,
I'm gonna let Dawn go, then you, Brad.
Okay.
I wanted to answer Chris's question, which is we've only had success in doing that when our table had a couple of community celebrities like the mayor or the chief of police, and also included a pie in the face. So people would come to our booth to throw the whipped cream pie in Burt West's face or someone else's face, and that gave us a chance to talk about Kiwanis.
And who's handling Bert's calendar right now?
Good one, Robin. All right, other thoughts? Brad, sorry, forgot you.
That's okay. I was gonna, since Barb Thompson's on the line with us tonight, I was gonna ask her to tell a little bit about Ashley and Rachel Young and what they've done in Kirksville, Missouri with their farmers market. It's actually called the Kirksville Kiwanis Farmers Market. Barb, are you able to unmute?
Yes, actually they started that farmers market. So, and they just started with a few tables, and it's not quite all a farmer's market. They have different people that do like thrift sales there, but their table is the one in front, and they get to meet everybody going in and coming out, and it's really worked well for them. And I also wanted to make a comment about the satellite members, and that is that before she left, Joanne Wilson helped me understand the difference between a club satellite and a satellite club. And she said they're not any of those things. The people are satellite members of the main club, and that helped us get over the hump of what to call them. So I just offer that to you all.
Okay, thank you, Barb.
Yeah.
Nice to see you tonight.
one more thing is that if you are doing a business fair, ask if they give nonprofits a cut rate. That's what we've done. We've gotten discounted rates for the tables. So thank you. Thank you for letting
Most of
me.
the farmers markets will let nonprofits have a table for free.
Yep.
What I've heard.
Tim?
Yes, I hear someone, but I can't.
Tim, it's
Gail.
Gail.
Go ahead, Gail.
Yes. We normally set up a table at all the events, and they're anywhere from $10 to $20. And we combine it with selling Rada knives and cutlery. But it gets people to stop at our area. We get to talk about Kiwanis, and we sell a few things and put a few coins in our pocket.
Oh, that's
so
great.
we normally take advantage of, we normally take advantage of any time we can get a table for any event.
Okay, great.
Okay. Well, thank you, Tim. Appreciate you so much for spending the time and doing this with us. You've done it before, and every time it's better than the last. So again, like I said, we're down 35 members, but we got a long way to go, and we shouldn't get down because there's plenty of time for us to catch up and reach our goals. So I appreciate when you said that, because you're right. We will get there. And I just wanted to say that the district entered into an agreement with a marketing committee. So we have called each and every president of every club in our district, and we've talked to them about it. We explained it to them, and they've given us the point person for us to call. So in the next couple of weeks, hopefully by the end of May, you're going to be seeing videos coming out. It'll be promoting Kiwanis, not individual clubs, but you'll see videos and all kinds of social media coming out. And if an individual is interested, they will fill something out. It'll come back to one of our committee members. Tim's on it, I'm on it. And we will call that person, explain Kiwanis, get some information, and then pass them off to the club themselves. So, you know, Tim has had great success with this company. This company's worked for Netflix. They've had great success with them. It's a way for us to get individuals interested in joining Kiwanis and finding out more about Kiwanis. But as you guys said before, once we hand them off, it's up to the clubs and the meetings in the clubs to bring these people in to be actual members. Don't forget that we do have a membership incentive. So if you finish in the year with a net gain member, you're going to get $100 for every net gain. And hopefully this marketing committee can help that as well, grow members and grow some funds for our clubs. So as a district, we are trying to do everything we can to help the clubs and help them grow. This has been a difficult year and a half, but you know, it's go time. We got to get it done now. I wanted to just say thanks to Brad Boyd, our area director, who's always helping us out, and a welcome to Barbara Thompson, who's a candidate for Kiwanis International Vice President. Thank you, Barbara, for being here as always.
Thank you for letting me come.
Oh, thank you.
I've just was working with you and Tim and everybody on membership, and so I just wanted to say hi.
Yep. Well, we appreciate you being here. We know how many members you brought in and how many clubs you opened. So thank you. We're a little past our time, but that's great because it was great conversation. Is there anybody else wants to say something for the cause? Robin, our governor-elect, any words?
I'm never at a lack for words. So
I know we'll talk today.
we've had the opportunity over the last week to reemerge and re-engage with the community, and it has been fantastic. So just can't say enough how excited we are. And this is such a timely Margarita Monday, with May being membership month, and we just need to get out there and grow our clubs, build and rebuild. So let's go for it, guys.
Yeah, and I'll just finish up by saying something that Tim echoed, that it's been a tough year and a half. And so now is the time, don't give up now. Now is the time to hunker down and do what Kiwanis does, because we're coming back. We're getting back to where we were. We will get back to where we need to be. But more importantly, kids need us more now than ever. So let's not give up on them. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you being here tonight.
Stay safe.